It was perhaps the most shameful act in the history of humanity when the USA dropped 2 atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It unleashed unparalleled destruction and killed more than 200,000 people. Out of all the survivors, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was one of the very few who survived the horror of both blasts and lived to tell the tale. Yamaguchi was a marine engineer who worked with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. He lived in Nagasaki, but on August 6, 1945, he was in Hiroshima, preparing to return home from a business trip when the American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on the city. Yamaguchi sustained burns to his upper torso, ruptured eardrums, and temporary blindness. He spent the evening in a bomb shelter in the city, nursing his wounds, before traveling home to Nagasaki. He reached home on August 8th and limped to the hospital. The burns on his hands and face were so severe that his family didn't recognize him at first. He returned home afterward, feverish and wrapped in bandages. Despite being on the verge of collapse, Yamaguchi dragged himself out of bed on the morning of August 9th and reported for work at Mitsubishi's Nagasaki office. He shared the story with his skeptical boss, but his superior accused him of being mad. How could a single bomb destroy an entire city? He asked. Yamaguchi was explaining himself when the landscape outside suddenly exploded with another white flash. He thought the mushroom cloud had followed him from Hiroshima. The bomb that hit Nagasaki was even more destructive than the one dropped on Hiroshima, but the city's hilly landscape and a reinforced stairwell helped muffle the blast inside the office. Yamaguchi's bandages were blown off, and he was hit by yet another surge of cancer-causing radiation. For the second time in 3 days, he had the misfortune of being within 2 miles of a nuclear explosion. For the second time, he had been fortunate enough to survive. In the days that followed, Yamaguchi's double-dose radiation took its toll. His hair fell out, the wounds on his arms turned infectious, and he began vomiting incessantly. Yet, unlike so many victims of radiation exposure, Yamaguchi slowly recovered and went on to live a relatively healthy life. He served as a translator for the occupation forces and later taught school before resuming his engineering career at Mitsubishi. He and his wife even had 2 more daughters in the 1950s. As he grew older, Yamaguchi became a vocal advocate of nuclear disarmament. At first, he didn't feel the need to draw attention to his double survivor status. However, in later life, he applied for double recognition. This was accepted by the Japanese government in March 2009, making Yamaguchi the only person officially recognized as a survivor of both bombings. Speaking of the recognition, he said, "My double radiation exposure is now an official government record. It can tell the younger generation the horrifying history of the atomic bombings even after I die."